work towards building a fan base of people that you can nurture to a sale. You are going to fail and screw up. I promise you, you're going to fail and screw up. Question now is, will you get back up? And what are your next steps?
Hey, what's up, Masters? Welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery. And today we're with Mr. Ramon Ray. What's up, dude?
Hey, David, I am blessed. I am fantastic. Today has been another blessed day. We're on this earth, and I wake up every morning and think, how can I add value to someone's life? And if I can do that before I go to bed, it's a good day. So I am doing well.
Amen, dude. Let me fix my settings here, by the way, on the microphone, because we may be getting a little of feedback, but I want to make sure this is a really clear interview because I'm super excited to have you here today, man.
I appreciate it. You don't have an audio engineer like in a glass panel in front of you to ask? You don't have like a whole team of 5 people like who have a whole soundboard?
No, I'm not that level yet. I do have somebody though, once this is done, that will take it and then, move it to that next level for me.
I got you.
Not there quite yet, but we're getting there, bro.
All right.
You got like a whole TV studio set up with cameras.
Definitely not me. I've got Audacity, SoundCloud, YouTube. That's my little system. I mean, I have a team of 5 for client work, but for my own stuff, Ramon does it.
I used to use Audacity, and then I just said straight out, I'm just going Zoom, man. Yeah. It's just Audacity is nice because you can mess around with both channels and stuff, but I did that for a while, and I just do Zoom, and we're on to the next. So, but listen, I appreciate you being here. Let me tell a lot of people, and the reason before we can get there, I know you're from Breakfast with Champions, Clubhouse, and that's why I said ding 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 ding. You do that little segment every morning. You get a lot of energy, dude.
Thank you. I like what I do. I like people.
Where does all that energy come from, man?
As I know you believe, God, man, when he pours the genes into us, some people have intellect, some people have high energy, some people are more thoughtful, some people know numbers well. And, I guess with me, he probably left the smartness and intellect and academia. He kind of gave that to other people, maybe you or somebody, and me. He's like, my son, I will give you some more energy.
Come on, dude. You got that too. Well, the energy though, you're working it, right? I mean, you're working at it as well. It's not, or is it the natural? That's like how you are all the time.
I'll tell you, me and my wife are a good example. We were walking together, and she rarely does anything early in the morning. We were walking about 7 in the morning. So I said, honey, why don't we have a cup of coffee in the morning with some warm croissants, which I love to do. And she was like, Ramon, it's 7 o'clock. Do you realize that? And I'm like, oh, sorry.
7 o'clock at night?
No, morning time. That just wasn't her. Between 5 and 7 or 8 or 9, she's like, Ramon, honey, can we just have the coffee so I can go back to bed?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, 7 o'clock for me is late. I'm like, well, I'm up at 4:30. So I get it. And you're up early. Yeah, with Breakfast of Champions, man. Yeah. So you're really involved with the Breakfast of Champions Club. You have a segment on what time are your segments? At
Thursdays at 7:30 a.m. Ramon's Top 10.
Yeah. So for people that are on Clubhouse, that's where you want to go. Check you out. 7:30. Well, tell them the club and the whole deal. How do you get there?
Yeah. And David has a segment too. I think sometimes you and I are on similar days, or maybe you're on Friday. I can't remember. But yeah, Thursday, 7:30 a.m. I do a Ramon's Top 10. And what Breakfast with Champions is, bottom line, how me and David were connected, and so many people have built new relationships. It's a social audio app. You think of YouTube, you think of Facebook, you think of Twitter. It competes with that to some degree. And as somebody said today, it's like really having a telephone call. But when you're on the telephone, you can look at your phone and see some talking heads and see who's speaking. That's the essence of what it is. And so we've all come together under Glenn Lundy's leadership, and we have about 100,000 or more people in this club, and we pour into each other in different segments. Some are 30 minutes, some are an hour. That's what Breakfast with Champions on the Clubhouse app is all about.
Awesome. So if you're on Clubhouse, you can, what's your handler on Clubhouse?
Ramon Ray. Yeah, just Ramon Ray.
Ramon Ray. Awesome. And I'm on there as well. David I. Hill. Don't forget the I. And you're 7 a.m. on Thursdays.
7:30 a.m. on
7:30 a.m. And I'm actually 7 a.m. on Mondays. So,
got it. Okay.
But every other Monday. So I got to get to the level where I get it every week, like you, man.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
Be careful.
All right. No, you're right. You're right. In a way, it's a blessing. Because you're right. Because everything's time, right? It's time. It's getting ready, preparing. Prep goes into that, man. I don't just show up like, hey, I'm here. Like I've got to, at least probably an hour or more thought time that goes into that. You know what I mean? Every time. So,
and we know our game. We're masters, right? As it were, of what we do, not to the podcast, but it takes, some time, as you said, some prep to know what's the topic today? What do I want to say? How can I add value to people? Leaving time for questions if people have it. If they don't, then filling in that whole half an hour to an hour. So it's definitely, and I think all of us have up-leveled our game, David. I think part of up-leveling and being a master at the craft, I think, is being able to pour into people, being able to have some topics of discussion, have some bullet points, and walk people through a storyline of some sort. I think that's all part of what we're trying to do here, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So your company is Smart Hustle Media, and you do marketing and branding, right? That's personal branding and marketing. And I'll just your bio, right? You're a serial entrepreneur.
I can summarize and tell you. Or you can.
Okay, I'll do super quick. Ramon is a serial entrepreneur. He's passionate about making the world a better place. He started 5 companies, sold 2 of them, and has authored several books. His current book is Celebrity CEO, about the power of personal branding. Ramon's interviewed President Obama, which we were talking about a few minutes ago. It's super cool. I need to know more about that. Also fired from United Nations. Okay, we got to know more about that. And you graduated from the FBI Citizens Academy and testified to Congress, which we need to know more about that. So there's our whole interview right there. It's 3 parts. So
done.
Let's talk about Obama, man. You interviewed President Obama. That's cool. How did that come to fruition?
Sure. When Google Hangouts, if anybody who's under the age of 10 may not know what that is, but Google Hangouts is still around, but that was the Zoom competitor. It's still around, but a lot smaller market share. They were trying to promote the brand, and they got President Obama, who was the newer president around that time, to have an interview with 5 Americans, 5 U.S. citizens. And it's my understanding that 300,000 people applied to interview the president, and they picked me and 4 other people to interview him. So that was, listen, David, he's the president, biggest top dog in the world, known at that time and even now. So that was an honor. I think, I'm not sure which one was more of an honor, interviewing the president or knowing that I beat out so many other people to have the chance. So I'm not sure whether it was like you got the gold medal or you beat out people to be able to be in the Olympics. Both are pretty cool. So that's an honor. I was really cool to interview him, yes, but also to be able to do that. And how I did it, David, it was nothing.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think you were chosen out of over 300,000, one of the 5?
I'm guessing, David, and you're a master at sales. This is what you do. But I think, David, let's assume half the people were just garbage right out of the gate. Not garbage as humans. Definitely, I would never say that. But I'm talking as the point of how they approached. They're asking questions. Are you really black? Are you a U.S. citizen? Let's assume half of them were just idiot questions. Nobody's going to talk. Let's assume the others just weren't well-spoken. Hi, my name is Mary. I'm 3 years old. Can I talk to the president?
So did you submit a video? Is that how you got into this?
I think it was video, text, and then you had 3 rounds of interviews with producers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So they would interview you, then do another interview the next day, and then interview you again. So it was pretty intense.
Okay.
So my thinking, David, is that one thing that happened was I think I asked a question that he would want to answer. And that was about the only thing I talk about, small business. So I'm guessing that was something like, we got politics, foreign policy, taxation, old people, whatever the normal things are. Here's something that's kind of soft for the president, small business success. And I think they liked it. And it's Google, small business, right?
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. So what was the biggest thing that you learned? Like, what was your takeaway from interviewing him?
I think 2 things. And again, it was an interview with a few others. So I think the euphoria of just getting it was done. But I think the biggest thing of interviewing him was what happened beforehand. Just the persistence and preparation of selling oneself, high ticket sales, as it were. This was a version of that. So I think that was the biggest thing I got. And then, of course, interviewing him live in person. He's a regular person. I think.
No, was it an interview in person or was it through like Zoom or something?
Oh, it's through Zoom online, but meaning at that moment of interacting and seeing him, he's a human. And I think that one of our mutual friends on Breakfast with Champions said that, David, that when you look at people, realize that they're humans. Glenn or maybe somebody said that, and I think that's what it was. He pees just like I do. He eats just like I do.
What is it about him though? What was there anything about him that just makes him special, or like anything really stand out to you, like in his being? And
yeah, and I think it wasn't so much the interview then, so I'm cheating a bit here, but I think that regardless of politics, I think that President Obama seems to be a very present person, seems to make you feel like you are the one, and I think definitely seems to be very thoughtful. So some people have mimicked or mocked, his kind of stuttering or his kind of, President Obama, do you want yellow or vanilla? Strawberry or vanilla? I think. So
yeah.
He's thinking. His words carry a weight. So he's like, let me just take a few extra seconds to be clear. I heard them right, to be clear what my answer is. So I think that was pretty cool. But again, that was not only the interview there, but just seeing him a few times at other big events I've been to, Salesforce events and things, seeing him live on stage. Interesting how the man moves.
Great presenter too. Yeah. Amazing. One of the best, right?
Absolutely, for sure.
Was Clinton? I know. Have you ever met Clinton? Bill Clinton? Had you met him?
I may have seen him at the United Nations when I worked there, but I don't recall talking to him ever. No.
So he's another one they say that was present, like with people, like, and you can tell when that happens, Ramon. Like, because I've tried to interrupt somebody that was present with someone else, and they just completely ignore me, like I'm not even there.
Right. Which is good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And he has that double handshake. I heard, Bill Clinton, I think, started it where you shake the hand and then he grabs your forearm or shoulder. I don't know if you heard that one or touches you. So.
I didn't know that one. All right, cool. So that's amazing. Now you were with the United Nations. What were you doing with the United Nations, and tell us about that situation?
Sure. Yeah. I was hired at the United Nations relatively right into college. I was 20 something years old, one of the youngest hires, I understand, at the UN. And when I was hired, I was running I was an administrative clerk. So a glorified word for secretary, as it were, 20 something odd years ago. And while I was there, though, I was promoted to administrative officer. So not the programmatic person who's digging wells or feeding kids or specialization in molecular biology, whatever, but the running the office. Let's say you're the scientist or you're the program person. We work together because if you need security, if we need to change the carpet, we need to paint the office, we need petty cash, bank accounts. That was under my jurisdiction for that local office I was part of. So that's what I was doing there.
Okay, cool. And what caused you to get fired?
Yeah, the UN is very strict about if you can have side gigs, kind of like any government agency would be. It's not government, but you are a quasi-civil servant. And I had permission, David, to have my own business at the time. My boss loved me. Everybody, the upper echelon, I think echelon or echelon of the UN loved me. But then there was this guy, David, this guy. He got jealous of me, like really jealous. He made a big stink about it and tried to destroy my whole career. And eventually the permission was taken away. But David, I was already into it. It's like licking the ice cream cone and somebody say, David, give it back. No, I got it. I tasted ice cream. And so I didn't give it up. And eventually they ended my contract and got fired. And but I'm happy, David, because if that wouldn't have happened to me, I wouldn't be talking to you today. And I wouldn't have had the freedom of running my own business. So it was definitely, as Alexander Carter, our mutual friend, says, that no saved me from a bad yes, as she says.
So no regrets. I'm taking it. There's no regrets there at all.
Not at all.
Why are you so good at like what you did with the ice cream and the expressions and do you practice that stuff? Did you take training for it? Does it just come natural? Like what is that? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I guess it must be natural, man. You're seeing something that nobody's ever asked me in that way before. I think visuals are important. Maybe that's how I work. Oftentimes when people talk to me, or if I don't give workshops, but like, hey, Ramon, how do you do something on Canva or something? I just need a pen to scroll while I talk. So probably because I'm a visual person. Maybe that's what you're seeing come out of me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. You do a really good job of it and being super animated, and it's good. It's good. Like people, there's a lot of people that, there you go, right? Because that's probably why you're a kid. You're like a big kid.
Yes.
Right. Like I have a 4-year-old that runs around the house, and that's what she's always doing. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's great.
Absolutely. I am that way. I sometimes have to remind myself, David, that I'm almost 50 years old and that I'm not a kid, even though I like to have a lot of fun. I'd like to think I take my work very seriously, but myself I just don't, man. But that's just me. We're all different. And that's why we need to work together, right? I need some of what David has. David needs some what whoever else has, and we all grow together. So
yeah. Amen. Yeah. And it is, it makes for a easier, more rewarding, I don't want to say life, but at least day. And I'm guessing life, I'm not, I think I got a ways to go, but
we all do.
Yeah. It's better. It's just better to have fun.
Yes.
That's it, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're going to show up, you might as well show up and have fun, right? One way or the other.
Got to make it
awesome. All right, talk to us about the FBI, like FBI Citizens Academy. We hanging out with Chris Voss?
I was not. He called me a few times and like wished he could hang out with me. Joking, but no, I wasn't. But no, this was a opportunity. I don't remember how I got it. Oh, I know how I got it. A friend of mine, mutual networking, like you and I do. He said, Ramon, there's this thing called FBI Citizens Academy, and I looked it up. And I went down to the 26 Federal Plaza in New York City. Those who may know that area went down there, and basically for U.S. citizens, it's kind of an ambassador program where the FBI wants to get to know people, not in a slimy way, but more so they want to show goodwill to community leaders. And so I applied, and lo and behold, 20 or so other people, pastor, consultants, consortium leader. It was a 10-week course where you got briefed a lot. It was in classroom studying from some of the highest levels of the FBI field office. So guy came in, hey, jacked up. Hey, if you see me, you're probably dead. I handle our anthrax division. Another lady comes in. Hey, my name is Becky. See this mafia guy here with the bullets riddled through him? Oh, I planted the bug in his car. See that? The lock? I planted a bug right there. Something like that. So we got to, for those 10 weeks, hang out with some pretty cool people. Got to do some firearm training, some assessments, David, and you may have done this or others, but where you have the big screen and you shoot it, you have a suspect on the screen, not like live, but it's where a simulation, gun simulation. So we had a good time. And I think it was just a good opportunity to get that close to law enforcement and see what they do. It wasn't long. It wasn't like I was there a 2-year intense course, but it was a really good opportunity.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I know we're planning like 35 minutes or so. We spent 30 minutes talking about your intro, your bio. Which is super. Oh gosh, well, what word am I looking
amazing,
for?
interesting.
It is amazing. It is amazing, and it's How do I lose my word? Gosh, this is so weird. You ever just not know there's a word but you can't come up with it?
I do that all the time.
We'll just go with amazing. But what I do want to do is I want to talk about personal branding, because that's what you do. So at least spend a little bit of time on that. And so what caused you to get into personal branding? Sure. And what is it about personal branding that you absolutely love?
Absolutely. And so to be clear, so I'm a professional speaker. I work at very, very large technology brands who hire me to speak at their events, host their events on camera or in person. That's one thing. Then Smart Hustle is a marketing agency that works with many of the large technology brands and helps them create content to reach small businesses. Over the years, for myself, so I don't help others do this per se, but for myself, I've been pretty darn good, David. That's one thing I can say I do well by God's grace is getting in the media, getting on podcasts, getting attention. I've been on Fox News. I've been on hundreds and hundreds of podcasts, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Inc. magazine, all that I've been on. And so the art of personal branding in my book, Celebrity CEO, David, the bottom line is this. 2 things I say. 1, work towards building a fan base of people that you can nurture to a sale. That's 1. There's many ways to do it. You should learn how to do sales. Of course, that's what David does well. But in this playbook, don't try to make the sale first, just build the community. And then the second rule of thumb that I talk about is ask for a sale before you ask for a smile. And that's the aspect of once you get people to like you, or as John Jant says, know, like, and trust, then you've earned the right to, as it were, ask them for a sale. So Celebrity CEO, the aspect of personal branding, it's those 2 things, building a fan base and then building trust. Then you can nurture people to buy from you. But if you reverse it, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And I think a lot of salespeople, that's exactly what they do. They just show up and as trying to sell. Is that the biggest mistake, or is there something else?
I think so. No, that is the biggest mistake. And again, now if we're talking about cold calling or sales, things like that, those are different tactics, different ways.
Sure.
But yes, in this aspect, especially for the people when you're using social media, because I'm a content person, as you know, I do a lot of content, IG, Facebook, all this stuff. That's the funnel building. I'm not getting on there. Hey, this is Ramon Ray. Can you buy my pen at pen.com or something? No, it's first, hey, let me give you 3 tips on writing. Hey, are you tired of your hand? And I don't have a pen company, just making this up. Hey, does your hand cramp you when you're writing? Are you a student and writing and tired? Nurture people, build that. Hey, here's how you can hold a pen in your mouth, whatever stupidness you're doing. Then you can sell that pen. So that's kind of what we're talking about, David, is that it takes more time. It's a little, your adrenaline may go up because you're like, Ramon, I got to make the sale. Yes, wait. Kind of like shooting, right? If you rush into it, our lions do this, when they're hunting whatever deer, you rush into it, you're going to lose the prey.
Yeah, got it. So you're all in on, it's more of the long term to build the community, the long term nurture, as opposed to the just kill.
Correct. And it works, David, on like say speaking and things like that. When I get clients on the phone, the large tech brands, if I can get them to laugh or be friendly with me, I'm pretty sure I got the deal. Not every time, but meaning if they're calling me, I assume they have budget. They already know who I am. They're thinking of me or 3 others. You feel me? Meaning making the scenario. They're going to hire somebody. So if they warm with me and we're going on for 30 minutes or so, most likely I got it.
Now, do you get it on the first call, or do you do a series of follow-ups, or
first call?
Is there an average? Yeah.
For this, again, to those listening, because I know there's many different people here, my sales a bit different. So we're not talking about selling houses or selling cars or selling a coaching course. But for me, for speaking, since I've done a lot of the social media work ahead of time, if this is helpful to others, I've done so much of this.
Yeah.
They're sold a lot. Maybe
so
their
next
step.
Call.
What's that?
It's not a cold call.
Correct.
They know. Yes. Yeah. Got it.
Correct. Then their next step may be going to RamonRay.com, my LinkedIn or whatever. By the time we're on the phone or I get an email, it's a question. Ramon, we're chewing to have you or Jose, one of you. So 50-50, I'm going to win that.
All right. How do you win it?
Well, for many years, I've been doing what I've been doing. So I think I built the credibility, which eases them. I think point 2 is that many people are difficult to work with. My clients tell me, they say, Ramon, that's one thing we like about you. You're just chill and you'll flow, anything we want. And 3, I'm pretty good at what I do, David. It's only since, again, I'm not saying it's about me, but to help others. Jeffrey Hazlett, former CMO at Kodak, said this. I was interviewing him about speaking. I said, what's your key thing for how to, get more speaking gigs? Oh, Ramon, just be good at it. So I think over the years, if this is our craft, right? Yeah. We all have certain crafts we do. Yeah. If you do it well, the client shouldn't have to ask too many questions about, can you do it well? It's more so we're comparing you to somebody else. Or are you the right fit for this particular opportunity? Yeah. That's how I win it.
Yeah, I have a model that I use for sales is I call it ICE, is first ideal client, second is compelling offer, and then exceed expectations. It sounds like you're doing that.
And I didn't even know about that. See, thank you.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's what I teach. All right. So final question is a question that I appreciate you sending me is, do nice guys finish last or first?
I think they finish first. And here's why I asked the question, David, or why I love this is because I think some people think that you have to be hard-nosed, sales, just grind. No, you got to make those numbers. And there's room for that. I totally get it. I used to work at a CRM company that you know of. We had numbers to meet and things, but I just wanted to let people know there's room in the market too for people like, you know what, if it's not for you today, David, no problem. Can I still give you my card? By the way, here's some chocolate, David. Next year, 10 years, if I can help you, let me know. You do enough of that over a decade, over 5 years, over a year, you will always have a book of clients because David remembers that, right? David remembers that kindness and he will think of Ramon the next time. So that's why I wanted to share.
Such a weird thing. So I bought a truck yesterday and everything was good. Everything went really well. And the last weird little thing, which didn't make any sense to me, is I bought in 5 cars here and it's only a little thing, but I just thought of it because it's like, why would you do that? The guy said, okay, I'm going to get it washed and get gas in it. So they washed it and they put a half a tank of gas. So the last few times I bought a car from them, they filled it up. So I just said to him today, I'm like, hey, what was up with the half tank? He's like, oh, that's our new policy. I'm like, well, man, you just went through all that and you end with like, it just didn't make sense. And I said, dude, nothing against you. Like you're a good dude, but I just think that is just not a, it's a little thing. Maybe I'm just being
David,
a jerk,
it's big.
but
It's big, David, because it's just like going to a hotel, DoubleTree, I think, give chocolate chip cookies. Imagine they said, oh, we changed it. You can't take unlimited or 3 anymore, only 1. Like you said, it's a tiny thing, that transaction.
Thing, yeah.
But you're like,
wait, the last thing too, Ramon. It's the last thing. And then, the guy's like, oh, okay, take my card, give me a review. And just like, man. Anyway, it's all good. We still love the truck. My wife loves the truck. It's a nice truck. So
good for you.
It's all good. All right. So how do people get in touch with you, bro? We want people to get in touch with you so they can, talk to you about branding, marketing, whatever you have going on.
Yeah. Best thing to do to reach me is 2 things. It's RamonRay.com or smarthustle.com, especially for those of you who have very small businesses and are looking to grow a solo business or be the celebrity CEO. All that free downloads at smarthustle.com. And if you need to talk to David Hill, I'm his agent. Come and see me. I'll just take 1 to 2% as well. That'll work too.
I love it. Hey, dude, let's do it. Let's get some deals, man. You're happy to take 1 to 2. All right. And final question is like everything we talked about today. We jumped around a little bit. It was fun. What do you want people to take? Like if somebody just jumped in here, what would you want them to take from this whole thing today?
Here's what I want people to take away is that you are going to fail and screw up. I promise you, you're going to fail and screw up. Like David's failed, like Ramon's failed, you are going to fail. The question now is, will you get back up? And what are your next steps? That's it.
I love it. All right, bro. I love it. Thank you. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you, David Hill. I really appreciate it. Good being with you today, man. Thank you so much.